on what we're doing in terms of trees and stormwater. Orange County is very, very proud to be one of only 3 communities in Florida that was selected by the Florida Forest Service for a 7-state study that deals with looking at how municipalities can better integrate trees into their stormwater management program. So that's what we're here for today. I don't think that there are any elected officials that I'm aware of in the room, but I just wanted to double check. Is there any elected official that, that's here today? And if so, if they wouldn't mind just standing and letting us recognize them. So let me just tell you a little bit about why we're here. Orange County has a sustainability plan called Our Home for Life. We've had that in place since 2014. One of those strategies is that we would promote urban forestry and expand our tree canopy. And so this trees and stormwater study that we've been working on fits really well into that effort to help us better understand kind of the current status of where we are in terms of our urban forest and how we can move forward in terms of, particularly in this study, using trees to help us with our storm water management efforts. Now, I'd like to introduce Karen Firehawk. She's the Executive Director of the Green Infrastructure Center. Karen, at the Green Infrastructure Center, she does green infrastructure planning and research projects, and she has more than 25 years of experience in natural resources and planning to bring to the table. So we're very excited that we'll be able to get some more input from you after this. Karen's going to talk about how trees and stormwater fit together, but afterwards we'll have another 30 minutes for you to give us some input on what you think about these efforts that are going on. So without further delay, I'm going to turn it over to Karen.
Thanks very much. I'll stop being silly, maybe. So really appreciate you guys coming out this evening. I know you probably already had a long day at work, maybe you've been drowned in a rainstorm. But we are here tonight as a first meeting. So we're going to be working on this project. This is not the end. I know it's very common for the end of the project. People come out and say, I hope you liked it because we're all done. But we are actually right in the middle. So we are going to be showing you some preliminary results, getting some of your input and your ideas for how we can protect our canopy here in Orange County, and then also any policy recommendations you have. We'll weave those in to the project so we come back next time. You'll see how some of your ideas have been carried forward. This is a short presentation. Chris McCormick, my colleague here, has been reading all of your county codes, policies, ordinances, practices. She might look a little bleary-eyed. She has a spreadsheet from heck of everything you do here in the county. And so she's also my partner in crime. The rest of our team is back in our office. So tonight we're going to talk about a project overview. What is this about? Trees as green infrastructure, and I'm going to explain that jargon to you. Data, sort of how are we doing? How are we doing in Orange County? How many trees do we have? And then community input. So that's why we've reserved another half hour at the end for you guys to come out and talk to us, give us your ideas. We're going to record this. So this is a pilot project going across 7 states, and it's through a grant that we wrote to the Forest Service in partnership with the 7 states, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Virginia. And we are headquartered in Virginia. It's roughly 13 localities that are part of the pilots. So here in Florida, the other partners that we're going to be studying are Jacksonville and Miami Beach. If you think about it, 3 pretty different places, right? But we want them to be different because we want to talk about, well, what are things that are more important in Orange County? They're not important in Miami Beach, but there might be things that we need to consider for Miami Beach. We're going to write a case study of all of these and then share them with all the cities in the South. So you guys are pioneers, all right? Progressive pioneers of Orange County. Okay. Yes. I feel like I'm preaching, right? Amen. Okay. I shouldn't say that, we're being recorded. Okay, so the partners are our nonprofit, the Green Infrastructure Center, and we are headquartered in Virginia, although we work all across the South as well as the US. And our other partner is the Florida Forest Service. So they are very concerned about how well treated the state is in general, but also especially urban and community forests. So Lou Shepard is the coordinator for that at the state level. And our nonprofit, the Green Infrastructure Center, we're providing the technical service. So basically, we are the ones analyzing how many trees you have, where they're located, what's their extent, how are they doing, how well cared for are they, and how could we expand them. But we work, as I said, across the U.S., providing community assistance, building models, using computers to model habitats, trees. We work on all different issues that are environmental. We teach and we also do research. And just briefly, the reason we're a nonprofit, our mission is to create new ideas, new methods, and then release them into the wild. So a little different than a traditional consulting firm, we're a not-for-profit public 501c3 charity. Whatever we produce, we give away. So that's everything that we make, Orange County will get to have. Okay, so we are helping the county map, evaluate, protect, and restore its urban forests for improved stormwater management, because urban forests are a vital tool in taking care of stormwater. And that relationship is not always made. I mean, I think we all know that when it rains, trees catch water, they soak up water, they evaporate water, but we don't necessarily quantify it and we don't necessarily use it when we're considering how to manage our runoff here. So that's what we're working on, bringing those in. So we're going to be making a map of the urban forest, which you see out there. That's our first try at it. If you find that we need to make corrections, let us know. We're going to write a step-by-step method for how the county could best link urban forest systems to urban stormwater. We're going to calculate, we'll do the number of gallons, but it will be a little bit of a variety, a variance of how much stormwater these trees are taking up, how many millions and millions of gallons the trees are helping you with. We're going to make recommendations for policies, practices, codes, and even new programs. So because we work across the U.S., we know a lot about different innovative community tree planting programs that you could perhaps also do here in the county. And then we're going to share the work. We're going to write you up in a case booklet and share you across the country. Okay. So now for a little sort of jargon 101, what is green infrastructure? Well, if you look on the left of that slide, you'll see the gray infrastructure, the roads, power lines, pipelines, all of the sort of urban infrastructure we think about if we're an engineer or a city or county planner. But on the right-hand side is the canopy, and that's our green infrastructure. And it's also doing a tremendous job for us. Those trees are cleaning the air, they're soaking up stormwater, they're providing habitat, they're providing shade. It is hot in the south. And another little factoid for you, trees also make you nicer. It's true, they measured people's heart rates, their stress levels and everything. And so if you're ever feeling stressed or cranky, go outside, get with a tree, it'll be better. So we're also interested not just in sort of where that green infrastructure is located, but how well connected is it, right? So not just a chunk of trees here and a chunk of trees there, but can they be woven together to create corridors for wildlife, for pollinators, for butterflies, for people, right? So how can we use this network of green to also connect the landscape? That provides biodiversity. It also provides more opportunities for recreation. And I work a lot with the development community, and I love it when a developer comes to me and says, I want to do a green development. I'm going to save up some green in my development. But this is the problem we often see. Each developer is working on their parcel, their plat, like an island. And so often they do save that green, but as you can see, it doesn't connect. You can keep it connected, but you have to start thinking at a larger scale. That's where maps come into play. So if we think about it, we might decide that that parcel on the left perhaps becomes the next Orange County Park, the one in the middle, moderate level development, and the one on the right, more dense development where we're affecting less resources. So we're going to help you think about some of those things as you grow. Now, who's heard of green infrastructure as a green rooftop, a rain garden, permeable pavement? Anybody? Yeah, so that's pretty common, right? So that's, well, I call that constructed green infrastructure. It's a little bit of nature and a little bit of concrete constructed together to help us clean the stormwater. Florida, though, I love coming to Florida because I get to tell you that your state coined the term green infrastructure. Yay! Yeah, you are the leaders, right? So you coined that term, but when you made it up, you were actually talking about Lake Okeechobee, you were talking about the Everglades, you were talking about rivers, you were talking about forests. That's what Florida meant when it said green infrastructure in a 1994 report to the governor, right? So you came up with that term, and then in 2006, a political appointed EPA heard those words and thought they sounded cool, so they just applied them to everything that had something green in it. So now what do? What are we talking about? Tonight, I love green rooftops. I've recommended some that have been installed. I've built bioswales, but tonight we're talking to you about literally the green stuff, growing things that do a good job for us. So the way to think about it is first conserve as much as you can, right? Build in the least impactful manner with the least amount of pavement, save as much green as you can. So first conservation and then mitigation, right? So don't make a parking lot too big. Trees are the best green infrastructure. They're better. Mother Nature does this better than we can. Mother Nature is a better engineer than any of us. Sorry, I know there's some engineers in the room. But the tree basically is a fantastic system for capturing water, soaking it up. So a tree can take up anywhere from 760 to 4,000 gallons of water per tree per year, depending on the species. Now that's a big tree in Orange County. That's probably getting up into the 3,000 gallon level. Pretty big tree. But trees also create healthy communities. I'm getting old, so I have to switch glasses now. My eyesight is disappearing as I talk. So access to fitness opportunities. I don't know if you've heard jargony terms like nature deficit disorder, but that just basically means if you're not near nature, you are all animals and you can get out of sorts. So trees help you with that. Clean air. Trees absorb pollutants, filter runoff, even combat asthma, even at the neighborhood scale. Hospital visits for respiratory illnesses are far less in well-treated communities. Well-being and mental health. People heal faster when they can see or access green, so I've been working with various hospitals to help them green their campuses so that people actually heal faster. Less crime occurs near trees, and employees will exercise if they can access green where they work or on their way to work. Lots of values also for attractive areas for development in historic district commercial areas. This is in Winter Park. Some of you might recognize that. I took that picture, by the way, and uploaded it last night. My cousin emailed me, I live there, why didn't you visit me? I'm busy. But a study by the University of Washington found that people shop longer and more often in tree-lined areas and spend about 12% more money. So what's the takeaway here? It's not stay away from the trees if you're on a budget. Trees give you more revenue, all right? So if you spend money on that tree, you've got to buy the tree, you've got to create an adequate planting area, you've got to water the thing, you've got to prune it, you'll get your money back because you will have offices that run faster, home values that are better, people will spend more and you'll get more sales revenue. So they do pay you back, but you have to take care of them. Job development. Small companies, especially those with a well-paid, skilled workforce, place a strong importance on the green of the local environment. And I know that Orange County is booming, but to really attract sort of the creative class, the people that have high incomes, they are really particular about where they live and they have a choice these days. So trees and parks attract better paid jobs and thus a better tax base. So it is worth investing in our parks, and I know we have one of our park staff here tonight. So, how do trees help us? Well, in terms of stormwater, 20% of the annual rainfall or greater is retained in the crown, the top. Delays runoff up to 3.7 hours and increases the infiltration capacity of the soil. So those roots actually make channels for water to get in the ground more effectively. As we pave areas that can cause extreme flows, and I couldn't help but put a hydrograph here because I'm a nerd, so here we have time and stream flow, and so in a paved watershed, it's what you would expect. Your channels peak higher and faster with more erosive force. In a vegetated watershed, the water rises up more slowly and drains more slowly. So we're really concerned about how much water we get all at once. So the question is, how can we make Orange County on the left function like a forest? And the answer is not everyone needs to now leave Orange County immediately. But we can get more trees fitted back into the urban landscape, and we can also be a little more careful in how we grow and develop in the future. So 1 acre of pavement releases 36 times more runoff than a forest. So that's the problem. That's basically it. A rainfall event of 1 inch will release 750 gallons of runoff, while a parking lot will release about 27,000 gallons. So you think about that. That is why you see all this standing water, and this is a perfect time of year to be talking about this. So as we look at how much water these trees can soak up, we're also looking at where they are located, right? Because if you have a tree in the middle of a parking lot, we'll take this one here, you can see that some of that rainfall is going to hit that pavement. It's not going to get to those roots. So because we've created a commuter model and we know where all the parking lots are and the streets and the sidewalks and everything, we can actually run different calculations for a tree over your lawn, a tree over parking lot, a tree over the street, or natural forest cover, which these are all Orange County pictures. So we can get pretty nuanced information about how much water those trees are soaking up depending on where they're planted. And how we figure out how many trees you have, first we start with satellite imagery. And so satellites are flying overhead collecting imagery, and we use then the reflectivity, okay, so what color spectrum are they reflecting back? So a bush, like somebody asked me about a palmetto, that reflects differently than an oak tree. And we can tell the difference between an oak tree, a shrub, grass, bare earth, your sidewalk, all of these things have different color spectrums, and so we can convert images into data. And once we get these different shapes, we can calculate the area and know what's where. So how well canopied are we? Well, our GIS guy put that really tiny, but basically what we're showing here is if we look at water, if we look at include water and open wetlands, your canopy is about 41.6%. But we're not planting a tree in the middle of a lake. So let's kick out the lakes. And now we have your canopy is about 50.7%. That's very good. However, it's not distributed evenly, right? So as you looked outside, you saw a map with some red streets and green streets, and you'll also see, you know, as you move from west to east, you'll see that we're getting more canopy as we go towards the east, right? It's more rural in that part of the county. So we are also going to be looking at strategies that make sense for different places.